organizations that are doing parallel work in other cities, and if you're networking with them, how that's going. So.
Yeah, I appreciate the question. The question is whether or not there are other organizations in other cities doing parallel work, and if so, how?
They've got a great pilot project happening because their mayor is supporting the food truck movement there, and also speaking with the guy down in New York who's organizing them as well, and seeing what we can learn from them. Best approach. I don't think that sort of a free-for-all, curbside anywhere for food trucks is the best approach. I think that would become difficult to manage in the future. So I think sort of a cautious approach, identifying locations in the city where it makes sense, and reaching out to business owners, restaurant owners as well.
And as I thought about it, I've actually been involved in kind of disruptive companies since my first job. And so when I left university, the first job I was brought into, actually I sent my resume to Ted Rogers. And one night around 10:30 at night, the phone rings and it's Ted on the phone, which was amazing. He says, I got your resume and I want you to come in and we're doing something interesting. And so at the time, Rogers had invested in a company in CNCP, which turned into a company called Unitel. And Unitel, some of you remember, was the first company to petition the CRTC and the government for long-distance competition in Canada. Before that, Bell had a monopoly on long distance. And so I was brought in to a very small team. We were about 20 people, and our job was to disrupt the market for telecommunications. We put together a business plan, we petitioned the CRTC, went through a year of hearings, and ultimately we won, probably to the disconsternation of our shareholders, because that cost Unitel a ton of money. It was bad for them, but it was great for consumers. So I started off really working with disruptive companies. I moved on to other smaller companies in telecom, and ended up doing a lot of work for the World Bank, trying to disrupt or help emerging countries gain access to disruptive technologies. A question occurred, and as we were talking about disruption, I think for startup companies, a lot of disruption starts with a question, which is what if? And so the question was, what if? And the what if question was, what if we could predict the future? And I said, well, that's a good thing to do. And so I thought about it, and brought in some of my co-workers, some of my previous colleagues, my CTO, who's a PhD in statistics, and we started thinking about how can we now, with the transparency of big data, another buzzword, whether it's social data like Twitter and Facebook and Google+, or whether it's enterprise data, which is now transparently available through intranets, through Salesforce chat referrals, how can we use these signals and pick up signals very early on to predict what will happen? And that really was the genesis of TrendSpotter, and we chose a name that was descriptive of what we wanted to do. We wanted to spot trends very, very early on in its information cycle, spot them hours, in some cases days before they've reached mainstream attention, before they've had a full impact, and be able to predict that this thing right now, which we've detected with very little data, is going to grow in importance, and you need to deal with it right now. So that was kind of the genesis of TrendSpotter about a year and a half ago.
This fall, we are going to launch an online site, and this is going to be a video-on-demand, pay-per-view site that will be exclusively dedicated to Canadian films. Nobody has ever been foolish enough to try something like that. We'll be competing directly with iTunes, except that obviously we're aiming at a niche, if you will, and that is the niche of intelligent film goers who want to have an alternative to Batman. And when you come to our site, you're going to see the best recent Canadian films, which will also have an incredible array of classic Canadian movies, such as Going Down the Road and One. So far, we've licensed titles like Ron Man's documentary on the history of marijuana smoking called Brass. There's going to be lots of cool Canadian movies up on the site that you really can't find anywhere else. And interestingly enough, the technology doesn't change the basic approach, which is to try to figure out where the audience you're programming for, where they're at, and kind of be one step ahead of them so that you're offering stuff, no matter what the delivery system is, that's interesting and intriguing. If you're 2 steps ahead of your audience, you lose them. You're just too narrow. You're too esoteric, you're too artsy-fartsy, you're too much big subtitle films that play the festival circuit, you could lose them. It depends on your audience. And so whatever application I've been in, I've always tried to get a read on what the audience is enjoying and what they want to see more of. And then I call it pacing, just try to stay one step ahead of them to keep it interesting. And so as we approach this new online environment, I must say, I don't really know right now what's going to work. The moment we're up and running and we start getting actual hit rates, actual purchases on a title-by-title basis, I'll have a very good idea what's working, what isn't, I'll be more of the same. Right now, I'm kind of taking a broad category approach. On the one hand, we're running Canadian movie classics, the sorts of things you can't find just anywhere. And if you're a film student, or if you have an interest in Canadian film, these are like the seminal titles. So we've already licensed things like Going Down the Road, and Hong Kong Fun, I've also gone off and licensed some very quirky documentaries. I mentioned Man's Grass. Last night at a party, I licensed Blaston, which is actually a Canadian documentary on the paparazzi, which is very entertaining. I've licensed a couple of environmental docs, TNMP docs, just to see what's going to fly. And then, of course, we're licensing recent commercial movies.